Hello everyone, welcome back to the CodeIsha Training Center. So today we will discuss about the Copado Essentials as for beginners levels. Okay, so let's see get straight into the slides. So coming to the our agenda is introduction to the Copado essentials and the Copado features and the benefits and how we can get the integrations, okay, and the deployments methods, work items and deployment pipelines and deployments with the pull requests and the commit grid and custom views and the diff keys and the continuous integration jobs and finals teams roles and the permissions and final ones is summary. Okay, so let's get into the slides. What is the Copado essentials? Okay, and here's the Copado Essentials is a Salesforce DevOps solutions used to the simply deployments and the release management process. Okay, so mainly purpose we use this Copado for the manage the Salesforce metadata and automates the deployment activities and improves the collaborations between the teams. Okay, and also integrate Salesforce with the Git. Okay, and these Copado essentials for the Salesforce admins and the developers and the QA teams and the release managers. Okay, so this is simple about the Copado, and here's the benefits of the Copado essentials. Okay, so using the Copado Essentials, we'll get the faster deployments and the better team collaborations and easy metadata management, like Salesforce metadata management, and the Git integration stuff supporters also there, and also we have the improved deployment quality. Okay, and we also reduce the manual effort when we use the Copado, and the better visibility of changes, like whether it is teams or whether it is roles based on that. Okay, and here it's a Git integration. Okay, so Copado supports the multiple Git provides. So here's a list of those things. Okay, so one is the GitHub and the GitLab and the Bitbucket and also Azure DevOps. Okay, so when we are using the Git integrations, here's a key points. Okay, so pipelines requires the Git connections. Okay, so mandatory connects with the Git connection, and it won't give the own backup not supported. Okay, so when you are going to with the integrations, okay, so it won't support any main backup thing. Okay, so must and should we need to connect with the Git connections. Okay, and here's the deployments methods. Okay, and coming to the deployments pipelines with the work items. Okay, so like metadata based the deployments method and uses the pipeline stages. Okay, so we will discuss in the next slides about the pipeline stages also. Okay, and the deployments with the pull requests, like Git based deployments method. Okay, and uses the pull requests workflow. Okay, so here's a main important thing, like both deployments can be used together. Okay, so we can do these deployments with the together. Okay, so like pipelines, work items, and the pull requests. Okay, and here's a work items. So a work item is a metadata container. Okay, and it purposely stores the metadata changes. Okay, so inside the work items, whatever we have the changes or whatever we have the upgrade or metadata changes, so it will stores into the work items. Okay, and it tracks the deployment components also, and it organizes the deployment activities, whether it is active, whether it is like based on the status. Okay, so here's the keynote for that work item. So it moves the through the pipeline stages. Okay, so like developer, admin, and the release manager and the QA team. Okay, like that. So let's see. So here's the deployment pipelines is there. So deployment pipelines helps the move the metadata changes across the environment. Okay, so here's the common stages of the pipelines, like development and the QA team and UA team. Okay, UAT team and productions stages. Okay, and here's the important thing, essential pipelines must be connected with the Git. Okay, so you cannot take any own backup. Okay, so must and should connect with the Git connection. Okay, and coming to the deployments with the pull requests. So here's the features for pull requests. Okay, uses the GitHub branches and supports the pull requests and supports the code review process also. Okay, and also deployment method supports the full requests deployments. Okay, that is the requests is the deployments future. Okay, and here's a GitHub Git based deployments or branch driven deployments. Okay, so this is the simple deployments with the pull requests. Okay, so and coming to the next one, so here's a commit grid. So the commit grid is used for the locates the metadata components. Okay, and they select the deployment components and the review metadata changes also. Okay, and here's the filters have that GitHub sorry commit grid. So like parent and modify by and the modified date. Okay, so these are all the filters for commit grid. Okay, and here's a keynote point for that commit grid has help the select components to test and the deploy. Okay, and coming to the custom views, so based on the developers or admin team or QA team, so we have the customs views also. Okay, so here's the custom views helps the organize metadata components. Okay, so here's the examples of the default views. Okay, so relevant metadata and the code related the metadata and also process and the workflow metadata. Okay, and commonly used the metadata. Okay, these are all default views. Okay, and here's the important when we are going with the custom views. Okay, so each up to only 40 metadata types can be added on the custom views. Okay, and custom views simplify metadata filterings. Okay, so this is a custom views on the Copado. And here's the diff key feature. So diff key feature is used to identify the metadata changes. Okay, so like whether it is new or whether it is deleted or whether it is any changes in that. Okay, that is a modified. Okay, so here's the three keys there, that is the new, deleted and the modify options. Okay, and here's the purpose to use this diff key. So easier change identification and the faster metadata review. Okay, so whether it is changes or not and whether it is modified or whether it is new. Okay, and better deployment tracking also. Okay, that is the features is there here. So this is a diff key feature in the Copado. And coming to the continuous integration jobs, so here's the available sorry CI jobs automates the deployment related activities. Okay, so whatever we have the continuous integration jobs, so it will be deployment related activities. Okay, automate. So here's the actions is there like validate and the export and the run static code analysis and the deployments. Okay, and coming to the benefits of the continuous integration jobs, so faster validations and automated checks. Okay, and it improved the deployment quality also. Okay, so this is a continuous integration jobs. And final one, teams roles and the permissions. Okay, so when you are using the Copado also, you have the feature is the roles and the permissions. Okay, so like roles nothing but admin, developer, QA and the release manager. Okay, and here's the permission for those team roles like deploy, validate and manage and the view. Okay, and coming to the important point here, team settings can be activated under the account settings. Okay, so up to here everything okay, right? And here's a simple Copado Essentials overview. Okay, let's try to, sorry, I think we don't get any zoom here. Mm-mm. So we don't get any zooming, so sorry. So here's the org setup to the Copado Essentials. Okay, so see here the connect the authorize your Salesforce org. Okay, so org to org deployments and the track changes in the changes and the deploys. Okay, so once we are connected with the Copado, so that Copado users what can do. Okay, and who can do. Okay, so here's the admin. Okay, manages the org and settings and the user teams. Okay, and coming to the developer, work on the changes, git or sorry, commit and deploy and it collaborated. Okay, and here's the QA or testers, validate the changes whatever we are changes in that code, and those are persons runs the code and ensures the quality. Okay, and here's the managers, release manager, so manage the pipelines and the approvals and the releases whatever we are changes in the code. Okay, and here's the business user, so these business user view the progress and they track the releases and the transparency. Okay, so these are all things who can do use this Copado. Okay, and here's the what can they do in the Copado. Okay, so here's already dev features is there and metadata and git connections, and here commit grid and the custom views and the CA jobs. Okay, and here's the teams also there, so based on the teams axis permissions they can do like deploy and validate and manage and the view. Okay, so this is a overview of this simple Copado. So final one summary. So Copado is a Salesforce DevOps solutions. So it supports the Git integrations and it provides the two deployments methods. Okay. So uses the work items for metadata trackings and the pipelines helps manage the deployments, and commit grid the simplifies the metadata selections, and the continuous integration jobs automates the deployment activities. Okay, so this is a final summary about the Copado. So thank you for watching this video. I hope this video find the helpful for you. Okay, whoever the enthusiastic to learn the Salesforce or Salesforce related the tools. Okay, so please contact us. We'll help you to the learn the Salesforce features and the Salesforce codes or Salesforce tools. Okay, and we are also give the uh, courses. Okay, and also will support with the jobs, also finding the jobs with help of the our job board tab. Okay, so thank you everyone, thank you for watching this video.